So let's move on to Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh,
My
He's a
Twitter
very
friend.
active user in Twitter.
Okay, is it really you who's tweeting and answering everyone?
not every single one. I have people who are monitoring, and then we're talking all the time. And if I specifically want to say something, I say, put this on, I want to do it.
So you don't read what people tweet you?
Yes, I do, eventually. Not
Yeah.
not real time. But
Right,
you know, then after I have free time,
Even
I
on
look at-
Facebook.
Even on Facebook, yes.
But the
same
early
thing.
days of Twitter, I remember because you were there, and I said, "Are you really the real Bongbong Marcos?"
Yeah.
And then I don't know if this is you or your staff. Somebody said, "No, actually, I am Thor." The
Ah, no,
font.
that was me.
That's why I knew it was really
That was
you.
me, that's
Exactly.
me, yeah.
It was so
That's me
funny.
because my Amy calls me Thor.
Yeah.
Because that is my favorite cartoon character.
You're like, I am
Yeah.
Thor, the son of
Yeah, son of Odin.
Odin. Amy calls you Thor.
Yeah, she
Oh,
calls
sige.
me Thor when she texts me or sends me, and she says, "Hi Thor, this is what's happening."
So, are there any prominent people you follow on Twitter?
Sometimes, usually musicians that I'm hoping to see.
Like who?
I'm always
Lady Gaga.
Oh yeah,
Of course.
She was great. She was great.
You're one of the monsters.
Huh?
One of the 24 million
I
followers.
know. But I don't really understand what all the fuss was about. It wasn't obscene. It wasn't blasphemous.
So, you
in
took
any
your
way.
kids as well?
No, my kids aren't here now. They're in school. So I went with a bunch of friends. And
You were with the Senator Recto, right?
No, we weren't together, but we
Oh,
went
okay.
on the same night. In fact, we were threatening to go in our judicial gowns.
That would have been a sight.
Well, you would have really
and I-
caused a commotion there.
And I said, if we wear our gowns, maybe she'll invite us up on the stage.
What's in your iPod? Music.
What kind of music? I have all kinds of music. I have classical. I have rock and roll.
When you say rock and roll, which genre, which band?
You name it. I think I have them all. But you know, of course it's my period, right? So you know, but for me, it's still we're still back to the Beatles, to the Stones.
Now that you brought
Okay.
up the Beatles and the Rolling Stones,
Sige.
hindi ba nung when you were young and in 1966 the Beatles came here
That's right,
and you were miffed that you said no, the Beatles didn't go to the palace to see you, and you said something like, I prefer the Rolling Stones.
We invited all kinds of people because they said the Beatles would come by, so we were going to get a picture taken, autograph the albums, all that. So we were all waiting, but they never showed up. But then I subsequently, in my time in England, I got to meet Ringo Starr.
Okay.
I actually met his wife, and then through his wife, I met him. And after a couple of times that we'd sat around drinking, and then I said, "You know who I am, right? I'm Ferdinand Marcos. I'm the son of the president of the Philippines." He said, "Oh my God, I remember the da-da-da-da." Then I said, "What happened? Why didn't you show up?" And he says, "We didn't know. We were sitting in our hotel room watching television, doing nothing."
Do you have other hobbies?
Lisa and I will probably watch a movie.
Like you go to the cinema.
No, we don't have a chance anymore to go to
So
the cinema.
privately?
Once in a while, like when the Avengers came out,
Yeah.
they said, "Oh, San, we have to watch it. We have to watch it in the movie
Big
house."
screen, yeah.
Nakakainis na yung mga anak ko. Every time I invite them to go anywhere, oh, we've seen it. But they've seen everything. We can't invite them to the movie anymore. So what happens is that Lisa and I we have a free evening. One of the things that we do is watch movie, and nothing too deep. Once in a while, we'll go for the important movies. But light entertainment's always called for after a long day.
Okay, you mentioned books. What are you reading now?
Right now, I'm in the middle of a book called Wool.
What?
It's science fiction, very obscure.
Would you consider writing a book one day?
Yeah, I would love to. I would love to be able to sit down. I've written many things, but not a whole book. So I don't know how I would manage it. I'm convinced that the minute I start, wala pang nasulat, writer's block na kaagad. But there's so much that I like to just say about what happened in my life around me, about my parents, all the events that people have seen from the outside. I think people would like to know what happened, what it looked like from the inside.
Yeah.
The easiest way is to do like this, an oral history, Q&A.
You know who we're doing that with is my mother. Because
Yeah.
we've been telling her, she has stories that, and it's always the inside story. It's not what came out on TV. It's not what was announced. It's not what was reported in the press. So now, every time she has 2 hours or 3 hours, Aimee gets a camera crew to sit in front of her.
Just
and
to
she
record the stories.
Yeah, she just makes
that's-
cuento and makes cuento and I cannot believe that her memory is fantastic.
You were talking about your mom, so tell us 2 things would be surprised to know about her. But before you answer that, don't go away. We'll be back with Senator Bongbong, also known as Thor, when Cocktales returns. Welcome back to Cocktales.
It's a tough one, your question, because parang everybody knows everything already about my mother. Maybe one thing that the people don't really know is that pag nakalaylay yung buhok niya, it goes beyond her waist. When it's very, very rare that she
I don't think anybody has
walks
ever seen her.
Her hair
at the
down.
beach. When she's in Leyte, she
Oh,
makes
yeah.
laylay all her hair. And it's all the way down here. And people are always amazed that it's so long. When we were little, because we would see her walking around with her hair down, and we were always surprised that people were surprised that her hair was so long. But her hair's always been that long. I think it's unusual. Yeah. Some people know about this, but my mom hardly sleeps.
Yeah, that's.
My mom is happy with 3 hours of sleep a night. There's so many times that have happened that we were together in the evening. And she would say, before we split up, she'd say, kausapin mo, puntahan mo si ganito, you do this, you do that, you do this. Basta't meron siyang utos sa akin. So we'll go, uwi na ako. The phone call that will wake me up the next day is my mom. Have you done?
Because
have
she
you done?
expected you to do it when she told you.
No, she expects me to sleep 3 hours only like her. And so she said, nagawa mo na ba? Ba't ang bagal-bagal mo? You get me. Sabi ko, ma'am, yung mga ibang tao kailangan ng tulog, hindi kagaya mo. One time she hurt her head, she banged her head. And the doctor said, everything's fine, but keep her rest. She needs to rest, just to make sure for the next couple of days. So after the first day, I went to see her. And she was climbing the walls. So I called the doctor. I said, it's more stressful for her to do nothing.
How about your sisters? What role do they play in your life? I mean, you were saying that they monitor you on TV.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So are they your biggest critics?
Sure.
What do they? What
Sure.
are their concerns?
You know what their concerns are? It's always the same thing. It's my hair. They're always preoccupied with my hair.
So what do they want you to do with your hair?
Fix it. Why ganyan? Ang gulo-gulo. Di pa ayos mo. Di ka nagpagupit. You knew you were going to make a big speech. Why didn't you get your hair? And I said, but didn't you hear what I said? Wasn't that great? Di ba? Yeah. But fix
Yeah,
your
but
hair.
it's your hair.
But fix your hair. I don't know why pinag-iinitan lagi yung buhok ko. But that's always, it always comes up.
I have questions from some Twitter followers who found out that we have you on board here. From I Am Craze. Aside from telling him that I love him, I'd like to know how he feels about people saying that he's not the real Bongbong.
Oh my God, yeah.
Are you willing to undergo a DNA Maury Povich style?
I'll tell you, this story has been going around for 30 years. That I'm no longer.
And how did this start?
I don't know. It's a nice story though, but it's been going around for that long. When we were in Hawaii, a friend came to visit me and stayed with me. And at the end of his stay, 3 days, he walks, you know what? You are real. You're still the same. I said, even you, I've known you all
So
my
wait,
life.
who is supposedly the real Bongbong if
What
you are not the
happened
real
was
one?
that apparently I was in England studying. I got into a fight. I was killed in that fight. I was knifed. This is as close as I can get to the main story. And my parents, in their infinite wisdom, instead of burying me, found someone to replace me. I mean, but then so the one that you have been seeing is not the real me. It's the replacement. And yes, and that came up. It's been coming. Oh, may DNA na. Do you want to do that? I said, no. I like being an urban legend.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't want to completely kill the story. It's an interesting story. And can you imagine if the test came out negative that I am not
You're
the
not
real
the
Oh
real
Bongbong?
my God, that would be something
Pati ako
else.
na brainwash pala.
So how do you discipline your boys? Do you have spank them or
No,
what?
no.
Just-
I've never spanked the boys.
So is Lisa the disciplinarian?
No, I am supposed to be. But they don't follow me
Just
anyway.
change your tone of voice so alam na nila na galit ka na.
Yeah, they know naman when they've messed up, right?
Okay.
So you just remind them, you're not supposed to do that.
How about your dad? Is that the way how he brought you up?